is Ogechi.
Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Ogechi Igboanugo. I'm a JNCIE and CCIE network expert. Okay, today we'll be talking about administrative distance. I'll be walking you through what admin distance means, and I'll also be giving you an analogy also to explain the concept. And I'll also be talking about and showing you guys what routers look like. I'll be showing you ISP grade routers pictures so you can see what they look like and you can get conversant with what they look like. Okay, cool. You're glued on to the network routing series, and this is part 3. Stay tuned. Remember to send me a comment, put a comment here, subscribe to my channel, and the next video will be about CLI stuff. I'm going to be showing you live on the CLI, what these routing protocols look like. So stay tuned, watch out for the next video, and enjoy the show. Thank you. So Cisco calls it admin distance. Other vendors have their way of calling it or defining it. Juniper calls it route preference. So Juniper, let's get a good color pen. I want to try blue, dark blue, yeah. Juniper calls it route preference. Cisco calls it admin distance. Well, basically they mean the same thing. Now, what do they mean? Admin distance is it just says the believability of a route. Let me write that down. It says the believability of a route. How believable is a route, or the trustworthiness of a route. So another key term is trustworthiness. That's what it is. So different vendors have a way of determining believability or trustworthiness of a route. So when you have multiple, if you have a bunch of routes, learn from multiple protocols, how would a router determine which one to believe or not, right? How do they choose which one to believe or not? For example, going back to our concept of the guy talking, let's go back to that concept, our analogy of this communication, right? Cool. Going back to this analogy right here. So you have Gary telling Peter that his name is Gary. What if you had another person behind Gary, this guy right here, behind Gary, and his name was Phil, right? Now Phil says, hey Peter, his name is not Gary, his name is Steven. Now, what do you think? Who do you think Peter is going to believe? Will Peter believe his directly connected person, Peter? Or would he believe some other person far away from Peter that he doesn't even know? So that's basically like the concept of admin distance or route preference. Is how do I preference of routes, believability. If you're telling me that your name is Gary, but somebody else is saying that your name is not Gary, but I have a more personal relationship with you, Gary, I tend to believe you more because I have a direct relationship with you. I don't know who the other person is, right? So that's the believability of routes, and that's what route preference is. So now, for example, looking at our chart here, this is a chart that shows you, all the believability rating. So connected routes are the most believed routes across all vendors. So connected routes have a point system of 0. Juniper also has a point system of 0 for connected routes, meaning that they are more preferred than static routes. So Cisco has a static routes, gives static route a point system of 1. So connected routes are more preferred than static routes. So basically, lower is better. Lower is better when considering route preference. Lower is better. So when you're comparing connected routes with an OSPF learned route, the router will prefer a connected route because its point system is 0 for both Cisco and Juniper. When you're comparing a different pair, say you're comparing an OSPF external route and a RIP route, Cisco would prefer the OSPF external route because it has a admin distance of 110 over a RIP route which has an admin distance of 120. So you see how it works, right? It's just a route preference, believability of a route. So a router knows what route to choose when it learns of the same route for multiple systems. I'm going to show you this on CLI so you can see and delve into what it really looks like, basically. Yeah, but this is the chart system. You can look into this. This is for Juniper, lower is better. This is for Cisco, lower is better. Nokia has their own, admin distance and route preference system as well. Now I want to show you guys what these routers look like. These now I'm going to show you ISP grade routers. Now routers have different sizes, different scale. It depends on the use, right? The usage. So if you're going to manage a lot of routes, like internet size routes, you need to, if you want to handle like 1 million routes or more or whatever, right? You will need ISP grade routers like these. So this is a Cisco. This one is a Cisco router, Cisco ASR 9K. I've worked a lot on these routers and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. You can see how massive they look, right? They're actually very, very tall. A lot of feet high. They're really, really tall routers and they're good ISP grade routers. Next on my list is Juniper series routers. This one is an MX, Juniper MX 960. There's a lot of variation of MXs, right? There's MX 480s, there's MX 240s, right? This is an MX 2020 router. See how large it is, right? It has different slots and cards and things like that. But this is also, so the internet has a lot of Juniper routers in it, has a lot of Cisco routers in it. So these are what these routers look like. And this is for Nokia 7750 SRS, 7750 SR series routers, SRA routers. So Nokia is also doing very well in the ISP environment. They also have the same grade routers, large routers, and they're doing very well actually. You could see a couple of Nokia routers also on the internet, also in major ISP companies too as well. Nokia, Cisco, and Juniper are doing very, very well in the routing domain in ISP companies.